Hi everybody, this is our garden. It is looking really shabby because I haven't watered in like 2 days, and it is August. It's like August 8th, so we are kind of heading toward that switch off. In Texas we have like 2 growing seasons, so August is basically just when you start thinking about your fall garden and replanting things that the heat has killed. Or different things. We do have better crops in one season than the other, so things that we're going to favor for fall are going to be going in shortly as I get to it. But I'm going to do this quick video before I start watering and show you what we've got growing on. In this bed we have a crazy amount of basil that's gone to seed. We love basil, and we are probably going to harvest most of this shortly and make some pesto with it. This is, I can't remember if it's spearmint or mint julep, or maybe they're the same thing. But that's what this plant is with all these white flowers on it. It is really good in tea, for more mojitos, that kind of stuff. And then in this bed we've also got purple, like adorable tiny peppers. They are Chinese 5-color peppers, and they're quite small. And then the little purple flowers that they make are just like really adorable. And I have tarragon kind of spilling over here. That's holding on, so I'm glad about that. This is our sweet potato bed. It's crazy. We literally bought sweet potatoes from Whole Foods, popped them in the ground, and this is what they did. We've actually hacked it back quite a bit, and it just keeps going. Underneath here, there's a thyme plant that's like trying to survive. I may just dig that poor guy up and put him somewhere else. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. We had potatoes in this bed. We harvested them already. Probably too early, could have let them go longer, but we didn't. These are all our raggedy zinnias. Zinnias, I had never grown them before, and I am like completely sold. They're so easy, they're really colorful, they're fun. And I just put the seeds in and pretty much ignored them, and they did this. This is, what are you called? Clary Sage. It's a Clary Sage plant that the lady at the Ocala library gave me, and I guess she has a bunch of them, and so it was just like 3 leaves when she gave it to me, so I'm glad that it's flourishing. I bought this cute little water holding device, aka bird bath, because that can give birds a place to drink in your garden, and then if they're around for drinking water, they will also tend to eat more bugs, which helps you with pest pressure. These crazy plants are Thai red roselle hibiscus. If I go in here, you'll see one's blooming, or rather be done being blooming, and then down here are the roselles. Those are actually ready to pick. I have to go through there and really pick a lot. Here's some more Genovese basil. Then this one is cinnamon basil. We have tomatoes in here that have gone rogue. I was keeping up with pruning the tomatoes really well until, like this bed, you can see they've been pruned quite aggressively, but they're still alive, which is pretty amazing. And this is actually, okay, so let's see, I'm 5'7", and I come up to here, and so these are pretty tall tomato plants. They've got at least 2.5 feet on me. These ones are probably our best tomato bed, and they're mainly the sweet, I think they're called sweet 100s. We've got a lot of those. Over here is the bed that I never got good at pruning, and it's like this wild, insane mess. But it's doing really well. I mean, that is literally tomatoes above my head. I would have trouble reaching them, which is great. Look at these sprays of beautiful tomatoes, and it's still flowering even in this heat, which is fantastic. And they're just so pretty. I need to send the kids out here to snack. That's really the harvesting we do, is about half and half harvesting and snacking. So one of the things that we did that was really smart was we built these raised archways. This one is all wonky because it was the first one we did. We weren't sure what it was going to look like or how to measure it out. And then this one is nice and well measured and well put together. And if we move this one rogue tomato branch over, you can see we've got some hanging fruits over there, which is really cool. So in here it's kind of like shaded and beautiful. We've got a melon growing here, and these are actually loofah gourds. So they kind of look like cucumbers. I suppose you could probably eat them when they're really small, but I wouldn't recommend it. But if you've seen like the loofah sponges, I used to think that they were like animals, like sea animals, but apparently they are plants. And so we're growing them. We're going to find out what they look like when they dry out, and we see what they look like. And we can use them as like sponges or, you know, whatever in the shower. All right, this is cool, guys. I'm really excited for this. I think it's an orange glow watermelon, which of course I've never had before. It's still growing. It's quite big, it's quite heavy. And we've never seen that before, so we're just gonna kind of see. It's just a really pretty color on that zinnia. Through this whole bed, we've got a whole bunch more basil, obviously. Still happily doing its thing. Oh, here's some seeds that the kids must have planted that are coming up. That's great. We had Armenian cucumbers growing on this old mattress spring thing, and they did fantastically well, too well, which meant our eggplants were kind of getting suffocated underneath them all. So we pulled those out, and now we're looking at the eggplants kind of doing better. Oh, look how pretty. We have a white eggplant. Let's see if you can see it in here. It's so cute. And I think that's the only one we've got. But eggplants are a little bit tricky to grow from what I've seen, but ours are doing pretty well. We have a crazy amount of peppers. These are some of our, what are you guys? I think they must be banana peppers. We've got so many. And they're still hanging on despite the heat. We've got a bunch of red ones here. These are, what do you call these guys? They're not that hot. They're like a mild, oh, the name escapes me right now. They're really nice peppers for like roasting in the oven. And then in here you can see all of our serranos are getting red. We tend to try to only pick them when they're red, even though technically we totally can pick them green as well. Let's see. Still can't remember the name of those guys. We've got, oh, these are cool. My kids call them witch's fingers. Down here, these are cayenne peppers. And they look really cool. I love them. We've already had a bunch of red ones. What we're doing is putting them in a dehydrator. And once they're dry, we'll grind them up and turn them into like a chili powder kind of. That's custom chili powder. Ooh, I spy a melon that's still surviving. Yay, I'm gonna have to find that guy later. These are our rogue okra. They're like absurdly huge, and it's kind of funny because I don't really care for okra, but we have, they grow really well here, so I've got to figure out a way to like preserve them and make them in a way that we enjoy them. Okay, these are really cool. All the way up. I cannot reach the top of that tree if I tried. It is a moringa. Moringas are tropical trees. I grew these from seed, started in March. I am not joking. They are this big. They even have flowers on them, so I'm super stoked to see what they're gonna do. I have read that they make these long bean pole things that people use as drumsticks. The leaf pattern is just really gorgeous, and you can dry them and powder them and use them in like face masks. You can use them in smoothies. It's a very complete source of protein. I'm really excited for this wild abundance of the moringa trees that I've got going on here. This is just 2 trees. And yes, they will die back completely, roots and all. And I'll have to sprout another tree the next year, but my gosh, they grow like 20 feet a growing season, so I am okay with that. Likewise, here's one of our fig trees. It's also a good couple feet taller than me. It's got a bunch of figs on it already. These guys come back every year from the roots, but they completely died to the ground last year, as is fairly typical for figs in our area. So that's kind of just what we've got to work with here. This fig, I can't remember how many years old he is, but he's clearly more like coming back with a vengeance. This little guy over here, I think is only like a year, maybe 2 years old. Can't remember. It's a different variety. Can't remember. Then we've got that stuff that looks kind of sad and brown in the corner there. That's our strawberries. Shockingly enough, we've actually managed to keep strawberries alive since last fall. So these are coming up on a year old, which is really phenomenal. So I'm excited to have these start producing again. We've got some sad looking Swiss chard that we've got to kind of thin out. Lots and lots and lots of peppers. I remember, so I just kind of planted peppers and all over the place because we have like maybe 8 different varieties of peppers planted in the garden, and I just kind of trusted myself to remember what was what. I do know that these guys, these 2 peppers planted with the chard, are the ghost peppers. Those ones are the ones that I know I would not like to be mistaken about, so I put those in a place where I would remember them. Let's see what else is good. What else is good? I mean, that's kind of the whole wild, crazy tour here. Got borage flowers. We're trying to grow a bunch of different things, like for culinary as well as for medicinal use, and also just to, you know, repair the ecosystem. It's really important to us. We feel like this is good stewardship of the land, because even if this is not like our forever home or whatever, we still want to do our best to kind of be in relationship with the land that we're living on. And it's not always super easy to do that. I remembered the name of the peppers. They're called shishito peppers. These guys right here, they're shishitos. And I'm hoping this guy will be okay. I don't know if he will. This is a like a calabaza squash or something like that. He's the only plant that survived. We had corn planted in this bed and it all got, you know, kind of bug eaten and spent looking. So we pulled that out. But then this one rogue squash plant survived. And we're like, okay, well, we'll let you see what you can do. That's pretty much the garden, guys. Thanks for watching.